pivot and talk more broadly about the economy and where we are today. Put your professor hat on. I'd love you to grade, and I don't know if you want to give Biden the credit, Jay Powell the credit. Where are we right now, and what trajectory are we on, and do you think that does change or could change as a function of who's in the White House?
Look, I think a person, in a fundamental sense, a person is healthy if they don't yet know what they're going to die of. And by that standard, this economic expansion, I think, is healthy. It is not
because we don't know how it's going to end.
It is not immortal. It will not die. But the thing that's going to cause it to end is not yet obvious or apparent to us. My best guess is that there's a bit too much optimism about the pace of disinflation. I don't think monetary policy is quite as restrictive as the consensus view thinks. But whereas 3 years ago, I thought and said out here that it was insane that the Fed was saying that it was going to first cut interest rates in the summer of 2024 in the face of what was happening in the economy then, I thought it was insane. Now, I've got differences at the margin, but they're fairly small levels of difference. I do think that the combination of inflation pressuring things and populist things that are likely to follow from President Trump are likely to do substantial damage to the economy over a 4-year period, though the Latin American experience suggests that they may work out and feel good for 6 to 9 months, or like a sugar high.
You've talked, though, for a long time about the prospect that to really get inflation down, you would have to raise unemployment in this country would have to increase quite meaningfully. Do you still believe that?
I don't think we're likely to get inflation durably down to 2% without some meaningful increase in unemployment. But I think that there has been more success so far in maintaining credibility than would have been my guess. And we've had a range of favorable supply shocks. I wouldn't have expected the price of oil to be as low as what was going on, given the magnitude of conflict in the Middle East. I wouldn't have expected labor supply to increase quite as much from immigration as it has over the last couple of years. I don't know how long it's going to last. Healthcare costs have been better maintained than I would have guessed. So yeah, I would say we have had more favorable supply shocks than I would have guessed, and therefore more success in disinflation, at least as reflected in the statistics, if not in the psyches of consumers, than would have been my guess. Yeah, absolutely.
Let me throw out one